Welcome back to our channel, where we explore fascinating destinations and uncover unique travel experiences. In today's episode, we're diving deep into the world of indigenous tourism and discovering how it goes beyond conventional travel. Join me as we reimagine indigenous tourism and explore the rich cultural heritage of indigenous communities. Understanding indigenous tourism. Before we delve into the significance of indigenous tourism, let's understand what it truly means. Indigenous tourism involves visiting and experiencing indigenous communities, their lands, and their cultural practices. It's an opportunity to engage with local communities, learn about their customs, and gain a deeper understanding of their way of life. The significance of indigenous tourism. Indigenous tourism plays a vital role in promoting cultural diversity, fostering cross-cultural understanding, and preserving indigenous heritage. It allows indigenous communities to showcase their traditions and generate income while maintaining control over their cultural narratives. Additionally, it helps break stereotypes and challenges the mainstream perception of indigenous cultures. Challenges and opportunities. While indigenous tourism holds immense potential, it does face several challenges. Limited infrastructure, lack of financial resources, and cultural appropriation are some of the obstacles that communities encounter. However, there are opportunities for collaboration with tourism operators, governments, and non-profit organizations to address these challenges and create sustainable solutions. Sustainable practices in indigenous tourism. Sustainability is a fundamental aspect of indigenous tourism. It involves respecting the environment, supporting local economies, and preserving cultural integrity. Implementing sustainable practices, such as using eco-friendly accommodations, supporting locally owned businesses, and engaging in cultural sensitivity training. Indigenous tourism can minimize its environmental impact and promote responsible travel. Reimagining indigenous tourism. To reimagine indigenous tourism, it is crucial to empower indigenous communities and involve them in decision-making processes. By creating platforms for indigenous voices, developing community-led tourism initiatives, and establishing fair and equitable partnerships, we can ensure that indigenous communities have control over their tourism experiences. Empowering indigenous communities. Empowerment is key to indigenous tourism. It involves providing opportunities for indigenous communities to actively participate in tourism activities, control their narratives, and benefit economically from tourism. This can be achieved through capacity building programs, access to training and education, and the establishment of community-based enterprises. Authentic experiences for travelers. One of the main attractions of indigenous tourism is the opportunity for travelers to engage in authentic cultural experiences. By offering interactive workshops, guided tours, and immersive activities, travelers can gain a deeper appreciation for indigenous cultures and contribute to the well-being of the communities they visit. Preserving cultural heritage. Preserving cultural heritage is essential in indigenous tourism. Communities can work towards safeguarding their traditions, languages, and sacred sites by involving younger generations in cultural practices, revitalizing traditional knowledge, and creating opportunities for intergenerational learning. This ensures that indigenous cultures continue to thrive for future generations. Collaborative partnerships. Collaborative partnerships between indigenous communities, governments, tourism operators, and non-profit organizations are crucial for the success of indigenous tourism initiatives. By working together, sharing resources, and promoting cross-cultural understanding, we can create a sustainable and inclusive tourism industry that benefits all stakeholders. Promoting responsible tourism. Responsible tourism practices should be at the forefront of indigenous tourism. This includes respecting local customs and protocols, supporting fair trade practices, and promoting responsible behavior among travelers. By raising awareness and providing educational materials, we can encourage visitors to be respectful and responsible guests in indigenous communities. Overcoming challenges. To overcome the challenges faced by indigenous tourism, it is essential to address issues such as cultural appropriation, lack of representation, and economic disparities. This requires collaboration, education, and advocacy to create an environment where indigenous communities can thrive, while preserving their cultural heritage and benefiting from tourism. Case studies of successful indigenous tourism initiatives. Now, let's look at some inspiring case studies of successful indigenous tourism initiatives. From the Maori cultural experiences in New Zealand to the Aboriginal cultural tours in Australia, these initiatives showcase the power of indigenous tourism in preserving cultures, fostering community development, and creating meaningful connections between travelers and indigenous communities. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey into the world of indigenous tourism. Let's embrace cultural diversity, support indigenous communities, and create meaningful connections through responsible travel. Until next time, keep exploring.